The man stretched his elbows forward on the table, leaned his face on his arm, like this. Okay? And soon began to snore. Now, what do you mean by snore? Snore, most of the men when they sleep, women and men or children sometimes, they make sound while sleeping. This is called snoring. What does this show when this crying show?
The crying shows the Susan has some love for
Still some love for Michael.
some love from Michael in her heart.
When she threw the ring, now after that also she's saying something now. Mike, she said, I have lived with you for 2 years and had nothing from you but your ill temper. Now I'll try my luck with someone else. It will be better for me and Elizabeth Jane, so goodbye. Now, what did she say? She said to Mike, I have lived with you for 2 years and I've got no love from you. Always your ill temper I have tolerated. Now I'll try my luck with someone else and it will be better for me and my daughter Elizabeth Jane. So goodbye. Seizing the sailor's arm with her right hand and carrying the little girl with her left, she went out of the tent crying bitterly. Now, what did she do? Seizing the sailor's arm, holding the sailor's arm with the right hand. Always the woman hold the hand of the man with the right hand, like this, with the right hand. And on her left, she carried her daughter Elizabeth Jane. She went with the little girl crying bitterly. And this shows bitterly she was crying. It means that she was still having love for Michael in her heart. Now read again now. Pay attention on the reading. Perhaps, the last paragraph. Perhaps they knew they had witnessed something wrong, or perhaps because it was late, the customers left the tent shortly after this. After a little while, all the customers left the tent when they saw this. Okay, the woman is going with the stranger, the sailor, and Michael has kept all the money in his pocket. Now, the man stretched his elbows forward on the table, leaned his face on his arm, like this. Okay? And soon began to snore. Now, what do you mean by snore? Snore, most of the men when they sleep, women and men or children sometimes, they make sound while sleeping. This is called snoring. And now, soon he began to snore, means he started snoring, means he was in a very deep sleep. Snoring starts when one sleeps very deeply. The furmity seller decided to close for the night, leaving the tiding up for the morning. The furmity seller, that woman of 50 years old, you remember that, with the white apron. Now, what did she do? She soon began. She decided to close at the night for the night, leaving the tiding for the morning. Okay, I will do the cleaning and tiding of the tent in the morning. So she left it. Then she went over to the man, and when she was leaving the tent, she went to the man also and shook him, but he would not wake up. As the tent was not being moved that night, so she decided to let the sleeper stay here, and his basket with him, putting out his last candle. Now, just to make the candle off, she put out the last candle, and lowering the flap of the tent, she also left. She will clean the tent in the morning. Now I'll ask you a question. Okay, while she was leaving the tent, first of all you read, you do the reading, then I'll ask question.
Mike, she said, I lived with you for 2 years
Huh.
and had nothing from you but your ill temper. Now I'll try my luck with someone else. I'll be better for me and
It will be better for me.
it will be better for me
And Elizabeth Jane.
Elizabeth Jane.
Elizabeth Jane. Elizabeth.
Elizabeth Jane.
So goodbye. What did she, while she was leaving the tent, what did Susan say to Michael?
She says to Michael,
In the first paragraph you have just you have read.
I have lived with you for 2 years
Yes.
and had nothing from you but your ill temper. Now
And had nothing from you, no love from you.
no love from you.
Yes.
I'll try my luck with someone else. I'll be better.
I'll try my luck.
I'll try my luck.
हाँ
Someone with someone else.
हाँ
It will be better for me and Elizabeth Jane.
हाँ
So goodbye.
She said goodbye to Michael.
Michael.
हाँ
Seizing the sailor's arms with her right hand
हाँ
and carrying the little girl with her left,
yes.
she went out crying bitterly.
She went out of the tent
She went out of the tent
crying bitterly. Read it again. This seizing the sailor's arm. Read like this.
Seizing the sailor's arm with her right hand
हाँ.
and
Carrying the little girl.
with her left. She went out of the tent crying bitterly.
Yes. अच्छा. Did she go happily with the sailor?
No,
How she was going
she was crying bitterly,
when leaving the?
leaving the tent.
Yes. Now start from here. Perhaps.
Perhaps because they knew they had witnessed something wrong, or perhaps because it was late the customer left the tent shortly after this.
Yes.
This man stretched his elbows forward on the
The
table.
man stretched his elbows
The man stretched his elbows
forward.
on the table,
Yes.
leaned his face on his arms,
On his arms. Yes.
and soon began to
And
snore.
soon began to snore.
And soon began to snore.
Began to snore.
Began to snore.
No, beginning.
Began.
And soon began to snore.
And snore. Soon began to snore.
The furmity seller is starting off.
The furmity sailor decided to close for the night, leaving the tidying up for the
Tidying up for the morning.
Tidying up for the morning.
Yes.
Then she went over to the man and shook him.
Shook him.
Shook him.
Not shook. Shook.
Shook him.
Shook means
Hmm.
this is called shook. Yes.
But he would not wake up. As the tent was not being moved that night, she decided to let the sleeper stay where he was,
And his basket.
and his basket with him, putting out
The, the last candle.
the last candle and
And lowering.
lowering the flap of the tent.
She left. Start reading from here once again because you have made so many mistakes. Perhaps
Perhaps because they knew that
they had
they
witnessed
had
something.
witnessed something wrong.
Huh.
Or perhaps because it was late, the customer left the tent shortly after this. The man stretched his elbows forward on the table,
Yes.
leaned his face on his arms, and soon began to snore.
And soon began to.
Snore.
Yes.
The furmity sailor decided to close
The furmity seller.
the furmity sailor.
Furmity नहीं है. Furmity.
The furmity.
The furmity seller.
The furmity seller
हाँ
decided to close for the night,
हाँ.
leaving the tidying up for the morning. Then she went over to the man and shook him, but he would not wake up. As the tent was not being moved that night, she decided to let the sleeper stay where he was, and his basket with him, putting out the last candle and lowering the flap of the tent. She left.
What does this show when this crying show?
The crying shows the Susan has some love for
Still some love for Michael.
some love from Michael in her heart.